It's time for some Texas music talk with me, Josh Fuller, coming to you straight from the great state of Texas. Each week, our guests share their insights on the greatest music scene in the world, the Texas music scene. So get in, sit down, shut up, and hold on. It's time for the show.
In your eyes, it set off the spark way down deep in my soul, and lit up the places I never let anyone go. The touch of your hand, you awakened the man that I thought long ago had died. The sound of your voice seemed to ease the demons inside. Gypsy angel, you feel so right. You broke through the wall of my heart like a thief in the night. I let down my guard and I'm laying my heart on the line. Are you the one I've been waiting for all of this time? You saw past the scars, the tattoos and bars that imprisoned my soul. You gave me a gift more precious than diamonds or gold. Saw past the man that I was. You saw me for the man that I could be. The peace I paid so much to find, and you I found it for free. Gypsy angel, you feel so right. You broke through the wall of my heart like a thief in the night. I let down my guard and I'm laying my heart on the line. Are you the one I've been waiting for all of this time? Are you the one I've been waiting for all of this time?
What's up, everybody? It's me, Josh Fuller. How's it going? And we were in the middle of a good conversation that probably shouldn't go over the air, so that's why we are all laughing. It's Tuesday. We're glad to be here. I got with me Randy Young with Cut and Shoot Studios, and then we also have Scott Mortimore in here. And I know you have your own. You have, what's the name of your production company?
S&M Productions.
S&M Productions.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I brought you in here, Scott, was one, I've known you for several years now, and the cool festivals that I get to play, you're always there. So I imagine, and I've done the Rice Festival with you, I've done the Catfish Festival with you, and we've done Fire Up the Bands with you. And I think maybe one of the, maybe a Lone Star Rally gig was one. Would that be one of them that y'all did?
I think you did Lone Star. Didn't you do Sylvan Beach ones too?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
But regardless, we've gotten to do a lot together, and you always have. I mean, it's always a great experience.
Well, thanks.
And so I part of this thing that I do with the show is not only give all the frontmen all their little airtime. I want to get people in here that make this music scene that we have do what it does, and that obviously can't happen without studios and engineers and of course the production companies and all those people. So welcome to the infamous blue couch from Dosey Do's old green room.
Yeah, I think I sat in it before.
There's been a lot of famous ass on that seat. So
Yeah, they're sanitized.
now yours
Say, did you wipe it down
yeah.
before I got in?
my wife's OCD, she wiped it down for like 8 hours.
All right.
So where did you drive in from? You said Clear Lake.
Clear Lake, yeah.
All right. So you got a new house now?
Yeah, we sold a house there 4 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah.
Moved into our motorhome for a while. Actually, then we moved out to, it's kind of strange, another story for later maybe, but we moved out of the RV after a year and moved into this little marina community in League City right on Clear Lake.
Right.
And opened up my door one day and got some people moving in right next door. And I don't know, do you remember Doug Reed?
No, I don't think I do. Maybe I do.
Yeah, you do.
I forget a lot of names, man.
He was up here. He's a Montgomery guy.
Okay.
He's best friends with Jeremy Bankhead.
Okay. Well, I definitely know Jeremy, and
So
yeah,
I
his
see
brother.
that Jeremy Bankhead's out there playing guitar with him on the patio one day, and I went, "Hey, what the?" And so now I have that little connection. But just kind of weird how you meet
Good
people.
neighbors to be having.
Good neighbors to have. Exactly. Yeah,
That is
'cause
good.
Doug had this cool sticker. I can't say what it says.
You can. It's internet radio.
It's internet radio.
He had these stickers for sale, and a lot of people have them. If you can find one, hold on to it. It's called "Fuck Y'all, I Know Doug Reed."
Okay. I do remember Doug Reed. I thought you said Doug Green for the record. Okay. I did think you said Green. I hate that I don't remember names very well, but I know if we've had a conversation. So I'll come up to you if we've had someone straight in the face and go and I've spent time with them and I don't remember who they are. I remember you.
There's a way around that.
Yeah, you get somebody else. You introduce somebody else.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, this is Randy.
So that's what happened. When I walked up, he didn't remember my name. He just introduced me to Randy.
No, I was gonna just call you baby or something, but I decided that wouldn't be professional. So. I was gonna call you Buckaroo. What it do, Buckaroo?
Buckaroo.
Yeah. There's Brian Regan has a joke about how he has a friend. He's like, okay, I don't know their name, so I want you to walk. I think his name is Winston. So I want you to walk past him. And right as you pass him, I'm going to go, hey, Winston. If he turns around, your job is done. You just keep walking. But if he doesn't, walks past this guy and I go, hey, Winston. And the guy didn't do anything. So my friend turns around and goes, my name is Winston. It's just like, come on.
That wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
All credit goes to Brian Regan for his joke. I don't want to take anybody's jokes. Man, so Fire Up the Bands is coming up again, and we've done that for a long time.
Yes, is what, 5 years, 6 years?
I think. Were y'all there the very first one at County Line Barbecue? Or did they have somebody else?
I wasn't.
Okay. I was.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I get to have a spot on the roster every year is because I was loyal at the beginning, and now they're very good about being loyal on the other end. Lloyd and all those guys.
Right.
Is there music playing?
That would be my butt.
Oh, right. Man, I didn't know I didn't realize you brought an instrument.
I brought my acoustic guitar. You didn't know that?
Exactly.
It's in his butt, folks. He's a multi-talented fella. But, yeah, so we've done Fire Up the Bands for a long time, and I don't even remember when it's coming up, like June or June? Did y'all just come up with a date yet?
No.
Okay. But we're moving it this year, probably.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
I think it works out for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. Well, we discussed.
Logistics are a big one.
Yeah.
So Fire Up the Bands is just a great big musical fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser for the Conroe Fire Department.
Yeah, Conroe Firefighters Association, and then they usually pick a new local charity every year.
Yeah.
I think the last 2 years now, though, they've done the fireman's house. It's kind of like a Ronald McDonald's house,
right?
For
Certainly.
families to stay
Yeah.
at for family members that are.
We had a friend of ours that was a beneficiary of that.
There you go.
A few years ago, and it made the world of difference to her and her family, and
That's good to know.
and all of that. And she was a firefighter's wife.
There you go.
Had cancer and all of that. So
Well, you couldn't ask for a better association. I tell you what, I've gotten to know over the years since, mostly since becoming with Conroe, the Catfish Festival, and meeting all those firefighters up there, and of course Mark Taylor's sons, both of his sons. One's on Conroe firefighter and one's a Woodlands firefighter.
Right.
But just such a great bunch of guys. They get mad at me every year because I don't stay at the firehouse during Catfish Festival. I stay at a hotel instead. But I don't want to hear those woo 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 woo.
Yeah,
and
no
not get
lie.
any sleep.
Yeah.
No lie, man. Well, I don't have any family members that are firefighters or anything, but one, I've always had, even since I was a kid, just a fascination with firefighters and fire trucks and all that. But through Fire Up the Bands and through some other stuff of my own, just music in general, I've gotten to meet quite a few firefighters and other first responders too. And it's just, it's always, I don't know, it always just feels good to help them out, but it also is just good times hanging out with them. There's some crazy people.
And
they're
they appreciate everything that you do. I'm sorry.
They
I
do.
Still forgot to turn it off.
That's okay.
We're
not live on the radio.
I know up where I live out in Cut and Shoot, we have two volunteer fire departments that are, they're on it 24/7. They come into the local stores, and we took care of them during we try to, help them out a little bit during the storm, during all the flooding. They were lacking on food because they couldn't get anywhere and all of that. So the community came together and trying to help feed them and keep them in good spirits.
That's
and
awesome.
all of that good stuff. And, we just appreciate what they do. And,
Absolutely.
I have a good friend of mine. His son is now a firefighter. I think he's still a rookie this year. So,
Poor guy.
and
He's rolling a lot of hose.
He's tough though. He's not gonna have a problem with that. I don't think they can give him much of any rash of shit that he ain't already had.
So in New Waverly was a volunteer fire department, and so we only had 936 people in New Waverly, and 900 of them were on the fire department. Had to be every single person, and in those small towns, those rednecks, my buddies were just like, any excuse to have flashing lights and a loud horn on their truck, they're gonna take it. And so they were just like, and you could hear the siren go off from you could hear the siren go off in town, and you just hear all these trucks, everybody with their glass packs and their fake sirens and everything just taking off.
It was a good reason to drive fast.
Yeah, it was, man. I'm trying to keep this music low. There we go. That's a little lower.
That's better.
It was a little loud. But so God bless all you first responders and firefighters out there for sure.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people out there that want to help y'all. And
I wasn't raised around them necessarily. My whole family is just about was police officers. I mean, that's
right.
Oh, okay.
My dad, my brother, I have nephews. There's been a Mortimore on the police department in my little hometown in Indiana for like 70 years or something.
Right. So. Yeah.
Yeah. My family up in New York and New Jersey and stuff, when they were, police officers of some sort, and, throughout the years up in the Northeast, and that kind of fell away.
Right.
Well, my dad wouldn't let me become a police officer. He said he'd make sure I never got on the police force. So I said, fine, I'll join the Navy instead.
Yeah, I went.
Ended up staying there for 21 years, so it was okay. It worked out.
What'd you do with the Navy?
I was a Navy diver.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been to NCSC?
Yes.
You've been to Panama City Beach. That's where I grew. That's where I grew up. That's
Key
my
West,
hometown. Yep.
Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. So, when did you get out? So, did you ever dive the stages or in Panama City?
No.
They were already sunk by then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow, Randy.
I retired in 96.
Oh, okay. So they were long gone by then. But when they sunk them, we used to dive off of them when they first got dropped. So, all the old towers and the comm towers and stuff that were on the beach back then, back in the 70s and 80s. That was a great time.
Okay.
So, I'll surprise you with my depth of knowledge on stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
My brother and my sister, my brother's retired Navy, and my sister spent 12 years in. So,
wow.
Yeah. Well, I have an aunt.
Their service.
Aunt was in the Air Force out in Hawaii. It had to be a hard gig. So,
Yeah, it's horrible over there. You know what?
but she would put the little
It's a great place to visit. I would not want to live in Hawaii.
No,
Because you know what? The sheer fact that I can't leave if I want to.
Yeah, that's a little intimidating, isn't it?
Because all you can do is just keep driving.
and all the
around in
damn
an oval.
spam.
It's like,
Yeah, and spam.
left turn.
Yeah, I think she put radars. She put something to do with the radar and the nose cone. That was her job. And
Oh,
she
wow.
Oh, that's cool.
installed those in the jets and stuff.
Spent
And
any time in Naples?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess you had to be there.
Sigonella.
Sigonella. Yes. Yep.
Oh, I caught Sigonella once. You can always cook your chicken fully. You gotta cook it all the way.
Catania, Sicily.
Yeah. Yep.
Those are all names from Street Fighter. Y'all can't fool me.
Taormina.
Yeah, my brother was in Key West as well.
Palma.
Yeah, he was in Key West, but he was also in. Oh, good Lord, I can't even keep up with where all my brothers and sisters were stationed at. I mean, I was I was Army myself, so
Okay. Well, I won't hold that against you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, you beat Navy this year, first time in like 56 years or something like that in football. It'll be the last time.
Yeah, we're going to leave Josh out of the military conversation.
Hey, I tried to go to the Navy. I failed my hearing test. Turns out I'm deaf in my left ear.
Huh?
Exactly.
I was artillery.
I went to MEPS. I went to MEPS twice, and then tried to get a waiver. And one dude was like, "Dude, when you notice the beeps weren't there anymore, you should just flip the earphones around." Just like, oh,
Well, why didn't you tell me before I went
why
in?
did I think about that? Guess I'm not smart enough for the Navy. But
You could have gotten the Air Force.
I think I was
could have been on a carrier, no problem.
judging by all those dudes that were going to the Air Force and MEPS. I think I was a little oversized. Oh, they were pretty wiry fellows that were in there, and they had different. But for some reason, there was the weight. They took weight off on certain
Well,
things.
it was always it was a cool thing. I mean, if you've been to Panama City, we had Tyndall Air Force Base there too. So we had a fighter aircraft wings, stationed there, and the pilots would come to town and they'd come out and party. And there's just little guys, I mean, they're just tiny because they got to fit in the cockpit.
I was going to say, you ever seen that little cockpit you got to sit in?
I mean, like, dude, you just need to leave.
Look at a Blue Angel pilot. I think many of the Blue Angel pilots are like over 5'11".
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're
Well, I still could
insane.
qualify then.
There you go.
But I think you got way less than a ton to be in. You can't weigh more than the payload that you're dropping.
Well,
You're like, bombs away, eject your seat. It's an F-bomb. Anyway.
Well, we've done dropped that one. But back to, I'll bring this all full circle.
Thanks,
So,
Mom.
Besides fire up the bands and just tell us exactly what you do. I mean, a concert promoter.
We obviously know what you do. But
we know what we do, but
not a promoter.
no, he's not a promoter. No, he's the guy that makes it happen. So, actually, to be more specific, I never asked you this. I just kind of assumed. Well, I mean, you're always the guy on the stage helping us, telling people what to do and all this other stuff. And you're like, hey, we put this whole stage up in like 2 hours last night and all that. So how much of the stages that I've actually been on and the ones that you're doing are part of your production company, or are you?
All of them. If I'm there, it's our production.
Okay. And so when Mark Taylor's involved, he's only a booker and a buyer, or is he
A producer also.
He's a producer as well. So you guys kind of team up.
Exactly.
But he's not part of your exact production company.
No.
Okay.
What happened was I was a production manager and stage manager for Mardi Gras in Galveston for 10 years.
Okay.
97 through 2006.
Okay.
Mark came on board as a talent buyer in 2004.
Okay.
So he inherited me. But we had a bond because both of his sons were in the Navy at the time. Of course, I was retired Navy. And we just clicked. And he liked the way I managed and ran the stages because I pretty much didn't take crap from tour managers.
Right. It's your stage. You're going to run the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
So he liked that. And after Mardi Gras, he did it for 2 years. And he said, call me one day and said, hey, can you come yours? So
Yeah. I like Mark. He books me sometimes.
you know what? A lot of Texas artists have a lot to thank of Mark because most of them wouldn't be around if it wasn't for him because he stayed on point and he knew that they were going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. He's the one that kind of started Eli Young.
Right.
He was booking them a lot. And we were lucky enough to get them for Gator Fest one year. It was 6 weeks after Crazy Girl hit.
Oh, right.
Wow, man.
And of course, you know, you couldn't have planned that any better.
Well, I know in my wildest dreams when people would call me and were like, hey, like maybe even the first year I played Catfish Festival, or no, it probably wasn't the first year, but I'd released my first album. And so I'm going, you know what? Things could really blow up. And so when people are asking me if I'll play 8 months in advance for this amount of money, how do I know I'm not going to be worth more when that comes around? And my band's just looking at me like, you're worth what you were worth. They're like, now that's what you're worth.
Well, I remember the first time I put Cody Johnson on stage. I think we paid him $750.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I think he's up to like 90.
At least. Yeah. Well, I know like, those guys, when they get super big, like when Ragweed was just bam. I mean, they were making tons of money, but they were playing some private parties for $1 million for a private party, you know?
Absolutely.
And, whew, holy cannoli. If I
And
go.
Cody still has that bus.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of guys out there, well-known artists that still play for, you know, $2,500, $3,000 a night. For
I wouldn't know if I'd say touring, but they're active on the.
Yeah, I wouldn't say touring, but
they're
yeah.
active.
Yeah, they're active.
They're playing 4 days a week.
Yeah, they're playing 3 or 4 days a week for a private party. They'll still do it for, you know, $2,500, $3,000. You know,
And really the artists, I think the venues are getting to where they're a lot tighter with their money. The everyday venues, maybe not necessarily your festivals and not necessarily your big concert venues.
I think bars are paying less now for a band than they were when I first got into this music scene in Texas back in
there's no
92.
doubt about that.
I had to cut way back on my full band shows because if they're not going to give me what my minimum is, I mean, and it's cheap, man. I'm telling you, my full. Now I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna lower my price. So if you want me to play, you can pay me an acoustic fee for however many members I bring, but I'm not gonna come play for less. One, I've already promised my band that every night that they're with me, they're gonna make
Right,
X
and those
amount of
musicians have, you know, there's a rate that they have to, like more or less like me. That's
don't
okay.
come.
Find somebody else.
Right,
Like, you know.
exactly.
Yep. It took me forever to get my head around the fact that I might play less shows, but what I play is going to be at least meaningful for my direction that I'm trying to go, or compensate me for my time when I'm away from my family. Because I've reached an age. My kids I like being home. I like being around my kids. I like being able to go do stuff with my family. So if you're not going to pay me to leave my family, or if it's not some big event, then I'm not going to.
Well, you know, that's the move that I made a few years ago. You know, up until 2000, I want to say 12. I think 12 or 13. I had a corporate gig. I was a commercial, Class A commercial facility manager.
Okay.
Post Oak Central.
Right.
And I was doing this on the weekends.
Gotcha.
So I was never home. My wife really didn't like that.
No,
but you know what?
don't.
I missed my first 3 kids growing up. I really did because I was in the military. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I have a daughter. She'll be 14 next month. And I don't want to miss that time with her.
Right.
And it got to a point where that job was about to kill me, literally. And I walked away from it. And I've been doing this full time now as my job. And you know what? My wife, she's a teacher, and she said once to me, she goes, she never really ever worked a day because she loves what she does.
Right.
And she said, it's your time. You know, you spent your time in the military. And so here you are. You know,
here's to the wives that let us do what we want.
That's a fact.
Yeah, my wife is. I got, we'll say, encouraged to quit the day job a few years ago and focus, just go for the music kind of deal. And I did, and I've had a lot of fun times, but it also doesn't mean it's the easiest. Like I haven't, haven't made it big and rich yet, but I got to do what I needed to do. There was anytime an opportunity came up, I didn't have to turn it down because of anything. And my wife's been very supportive of that. So she's the one that says, "Why are you home so early?" I was like, "Well, I needed to get home. I go home after the gig. That's what I do. I don't hang out."
And I appreciate that you go home after.
I bet you do.
Well, you know, it did.
Get a lot of people hanging out.
You know, it's a job.
Yeah.
You're coming to the show and you're playing the stage, and I understand the people that are there for quote unquote your headliners. They're there all day,
Right.
and when they're done, but guess what? When they're done, they leave. Of course, it's usually a lot later. But even the opening acts that start a show throughout the day, come and play your gig, act like you've done this before, play your gig, get your check.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
You know, I have other bands coming in and I need your parking spot.
Right, exactly. Especially, and the benefits, or not the benefits, and the concerts I've done with you guys, none of them had an additional parking garage for all the people that want to stick around. And, normally, now, if we play early, if we got like 3 or 4 bands after us, the only place that I've really had to do that, like at Papa's, it's no big deal. They got a big old parking lot.
Right.
But, for the Catfish Festival, I mean, you just come in, which they do.
Oh yeah.
Then those guys aren't getting out. So you got to kind of get out of the way. And then I'm that guy that we don't have a bus or a van. So now we're like, hey, we need to take up 6 of those spots for my band members. So we got to get out of the way.
Yeah, if you notice those emails you get, try to write share if you can, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the first and foremost, music, and we've talked about this before, is a business. Mm-hmm. You know, you're there to do a job and entertain folks. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, you're having a good time and you're letting other people have a good time and all of that. But when, you know, brass tacks is, it's a business for the artist, for the production company,
sure,
for a studio like me. If I'm coming out and I'm shooting video or whatever I'm doing, yeah, you can have a good time doing it, but it's a business and you're there to make a buck and entertain people.
Right. And when your job is done,
it's time to go.
It's time to go.
And your wife will love you.
It's not that we don't want you.
Your wife will love you for it.
Well, you know, and a lot of times bands have come from a distance.
Certainly.
And, you know, and in most gigs, we, you know, the ones that do have to travel in and have to travel out, you know, we'll get hotel rooms for or something. And, but that's their opportunity. You know, go rest. Go get away from it. Let your ears rest. Let your mind rest a little bit and go. You know?
I mean, there's always an artist should have planned in his schedule when they go to an event like this, if they come in from a distance and they have fans here, that they have a little period of time that they set aside to interact with their fans and do their business of being a musician and being, you know, somebody that their fans want to see and talk to and have
at noon. You should still be there at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. You play at noon, 6 o'clock. That's probably a little late.
Right.
The party may have gone too long. So you ready for a commercial spot and a little pause for the cause?
Yeah, I think we should take a little break, have a little refill on our drinks up here.
Yeah, most definitely.
And all that good stuff. And give Scott a chance to catch his breath up here.
Oh, yeah.
But, y'all hang tight. We'll be right back.
Let's enjoy the difference at Classic Galveston.
Hi, I'm Howie Bentley, owner of Classic Auto Group Galveston, inviting you to the classic way of doing business, which means the customer always comes first. Need service after the sale? We've got you covered with our service parts and body shop. Let us cater to your needs the classic way, island style. Visit us at ClassicGalveston.com.
Classic Galveston, enjoy the difference, island style.
Banks of the Brazos, wondering what I'm gonna do today. My hole's in the water and the beer's still cold, but I ain't had a bite all day. Don't know when it wasn't left a path to success, but I know it's been more than a year. While the rest of the world was out there running the rat race, I've been sitting here drinking beer and living on Lone Star time, wondering where I on my mind to go down that road. Will I ever come home again? You can hear my engine humming, coming, rumbling up the road. And I know when you meet me at the fence line in the sunshine, you'll be looking fine in your bandana and your blue jeans. Baby, would you ride with me? So climb up in the seat, put your bare feet up, tap along to the radio. Girl, we can go kick around downtown with the top down. We can follow this county road wherever it leads. Baby, would you ride with me? Take my hand, say I do. I wanna go down this road with you. High and low, thick and thin. Forever's just around the bend, and we'll be right where we wanna be. Baby, would you ride with me? You know life is a bull when the gate gets pulled, and you better be holding on tight. It's a roller coaster flipping over. It's a sailboat on the tide, on the wide open sea. Baby, would you ride with me? Take my hand, say I do. I wanna go down this road with you. High and low, thick and thin. Forever's just around the bend. We'll be right where we wanna be. Baby, would you ride with me? I've been thinking all day that life is a highway we all travel on. The one that I wanna see sitting in the seat with me when I make my dreams come true. It's you, and it feels so fine when you take my hand. Say I do. I wanna go down this road with you. High and low, thick and thin. Forever's just around the bend. We'll be right where we wanna be. So baby, would you ride with me? Come on and take a ride with me.
Just living every day just like it, you laugh. It's a loving just like your heart's never been broken. Used to always dancing just like nobody's watching. Cheers, people. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening.
Sometimes you get beat up good, drive yourself crazy being misunderstood. Well, sometimes you want to throw the towel in, but you come out swinging like you just might win. You gotta keep on, keep it on, push it on down the line. And keep on, keep it on, keep from getting further behind. Well, some days you wonder what it all means. Some nights it ain't as bad as it seems. Well, sometimes you think you've been had, run yourself ragged and work on man. You gotta keep on, keep it on, push it on down the road. And keep on, keep it on, still got a ways to go. Yeah, you gotta keep on, keep it on, push it on down
to be. The best things in life are free. And tomorrow's still another day. Ain't it funny how the truth sounds so cliche? You gotta keep on, keeping on, push it on down the line. Keep on, keeping on, keep on getting further behind. You gotta keep on, keeping on, push it on down the road. Keep on, keeping on, still got a ways to go. So, when you wake up in the morning, and before you get out the door, when something bad happens to you, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because it will happen. And when that does happen, before you even get out the door, man, you feel like somebody's punched you in the gut and says, man, you might as well just pack it on in, get back in bed and watch Oprah all day. It really ain't worth trying to make a difference in this world, because bad it's gonna happen to me. And trust me, friends, it happens to everybody, every single day. So when you do muster the strength to leave your household and go to work, school, cheat on your boyfriend, whatever it is you're gonna go do that day, just know that everyone you pass, they know how you feel. They're going through the same shit you are. Know that. And do me a favor. Do me a favor. When it happens, walk up to anyone you see. You tap them on the shoulder and you whisper in their ear. Say, I know how you feel. Because you do know how they feel, right? Say, I know how you feel. Do one thing for me. If you don't do anything else all day, do one thing for me. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Push it on down the line. You keep on keeping on. Keep them getting further behind. You keep on keeping on. Push it on down the road. You keep on keeping on, still got a ways to go. You keep on keeping on. You keep on keeping on. You keep on keeping on. You keep on keeping on.
It's like we're almost there.
Oh, no doubt.
Man, my software is making everything glitch out. So during the musical break, there was a lot of... And I apologize for all that, but...
Yeah, we're going to have to defrag your hard drive and do all sorts of stuff. I'll give you a list of shit.
You got to use a different computer than the one you play video games on.
Oh,
The one
I
his
wouldn't play
kids
video games.
It's that Call of Duty going.
there you go. Yeah. No, you can't defrag my computer. That sounds too dirty. You're not allowed to do that. You might catch a virus, Randy.
You might catch something that Ajax won't wash off, right?
Something like that.
Pine
Something
Sol.
like that. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
bleach ain't taking care of that.
It's really funny. I was
That's
distracted,
a Navy
sorry.
guy. Those ports a call, brother.
Well, my dad would just pour diesel on everything. So
Same thing.
yeah,
Hey, the fence line, the fence line.
Diesel or kerosene.
Yeah, somebody. I saw something posted funny. It was like when we were younger, our parents threatened to wash our mouths out with soap, and now kids are just eating Tide
Eating
Pods.
Tide Pods.
What the?
As you can tell, Randy has some whiskey in his cup now, so the F-bombs will be flowing. No,
I'll try not
they
to.
will.
but,
They will not. They will not.
My ice isn't clinkling, but yeah.
Yeah, we got.
it's,
Now we have some drinks. I decided to share, but unfortunately, it was a rough week for my wife, and so our whiskey bottle is empty.
Well, it is now.
So next week's gonna be really rough.
So the whiskey producers in Texas, we need a sponsor.
I think you know what, Chris. I think he said he's got Whitmire on the hook.
Oh, sweet.
So we just need to set that hook and reel it in.
There's a couple of them out there besides Rebecca Creek. There's a
Yeah, I know.
there's one of them.
Whitmire and
Yeah, Whitmire's the one I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, Yellow Rose.
Yellow Rose.
I think they used to
There's several.
sponsor. They used to sponsor.
Well,
something.
I've been working on one. Kinky Freeman has tequila.
Oh, really?
It's called Men in Black.
Okay.
And I know his business partner and in that venture, and so
You're not allowed to drop names and talk about how much clout you have without a bottle in your hand.
Well, I'm trying. I've had a bottle in my hand, and it's really damn good.
Is it?
Yeah.
So when I went to Cancun, we did those tequila tastings. And so you get to taste their tequilas, and it's 100% blue agave, the good stuff.
Yeah.
That you sip, you don't shoot.
Right.
And so now I can't drink tequila. Like, I can't do the shots. I have to have good old sipping tequila that's real good stuff. And
It's like a good scotch.
yeah, it can be. It can be for sure. I enjoy it, but it's still, there's still a tequila taste to it that eventually I've had enough of that taste. I got to move back on. Nothing replaces bourbon and whiskey
No.
for me. And it's, love it.
Well, a good scotch will. You can
Single
shoot.
malt Macallan will
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, there's some singles. I mean, some 18 plus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We bought a bottle of Johnny Walker Double. No, it was gifted to me, a Johnny Walker Double Black.
Oh, wow.
And my wife mixed some with Coke. And I will tell y'all that makes it taste like a Band-Aid. So don't ever do that.
Oh.
It was awful.
The only thing you mix with scotch, if ever, is maybe some ice.
Well, Johnny Walker does not produce a scotch, period, the end. They are all a bourbon. It's all a blended.
Right.
Even blue is blended. Even though it's entirely overpriced for a blended whiskey.
Controversial.
But scotch is a single malt. Macallan or, one of those guys.
And it has to come from Scotland.
Yes, it does.
Glenlivet.
Yeah.
Glenlivet and, Strange Facts and Full Ahead. They use old...
I like that. Now you're speaking my language.
They use old Jack Daniels and old bourbon barrels from the United States to ferment their whiskey or their scotch in because in the United States, barrels are only allowed to be used once. So that's why you always see Jack Daniels barrels and, Jim Beam
And their
barrels and
briquettes.
everywhere.
They sell those Jack Daniels wood chunks from their barrels that they cut up so you can smoke
Yeah.
your meat.
Yeah, so they can only be used once in the United States. In Europe, they can be used as many times as they like.
Well, okay.
Strange facts.
Throwing the peat moss.
Thank you, Randy. Moving on to music.
Yeah, back to music. Hey, but music and booze always go together.
Yeah, they do. They do. I remember the best Houston cook-off moment that I had was when we were playing down there for the cook-off, and Dennis, we call him Skinny Dennis so much, can't remember his last name. Wolford who has the bottomless pit cookers. It's the big tent.
Right, yeah.
Well, it was the first year that we became friends, and so he was excited. He's like, hey, come over to my tent, man. I'll feed you and all this other stuff. So we were on break or before our set at the tent we were at, and we go over there, and he walks us back there. He's like, I got something for you. And we walk into the trailer, and he reaches in and he grabs me a bottle of Blanton's, and he hands me a bottle of Blanton's. He's like, this is for you, man. Take it home. Do what you got to do with it. I was like, oh. And I'd never seen Blanton's before. I was kind of new to the bourbon whiskey whatever game, and I was more impressed with the horse on top. I was like, that is so cool, man. And the food was delicious. Yeah. So then the next year I went back over there thinking, hey, I'm gonna go get my Blanton's. And he's like, hey, would you like some sausage? Yeah. Damn. Should have got 2 bottles.
That's right.
So now, I mean, because it's hard to get Blanton's. They don't ship much of it out at once. And I got lucky one day at Specs here in the Woodlands. I walked in, I said, hey man, y'all got any Blanton's? And he gave me this look, and he goes, only because you asked. Hold on a second. And he goes to the very back of the store, and he walks up, and he's like, I only got 2 of these. And so he gave it to me, and I bought it, and we sipped that thing. I mean, we were just pouring little baby shots. We just
for that price, yeah.
But
I found one in of all places, Pensacola, Florida.
Oh wow.
Okay, so we were at this RV resort right by the beach. You walked across the street, right across the street from the RV resort is a liquor store.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was out of Crown. So we went over there and they had Crown, and I'm looking around, and I found this blended that's called Royal Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can't find it anywhere around here. I wish now I would have bought 5 bottles. But it's, to me, better than Crown, and I'm a Crown lover.
Right.
Yeah,
This
Royal
stuff
Canadian
was
is very
royal.
nice. You can find it in Florida.
That's
because of snowbird.
It's
snowbirds.
made in New Orleans.
Oh, I have to give full disclosure. You're not drinking Crown right now either.
Uh-oh.
No, so when my wife went down to the rodeo, she took my Maker's Mark and poured it into an empty Crown bottle. And that was the bottle that you grabbed out of my hand a minute ago. So you're actually drinking Maker's. Sorry.
I knew that,
I have a bottle of that at
I knew
home,
that wasn't Crown.
Oops.
I've been to your house before.
Yes. Maker's.
I got a bottle of Makers from Blue once.
Did you?
Yeah. It was on his rider. Gave it to him. He said, dude, here, take it.
Oh, nice. See, I never did riders. Nobody really asked. And I don't think anybody would ever take me seriously if I had said, yeah, here, I need a bottle of whiskey. And they're like, you got a gig. Be happy.
So as a producer of shows, what are some of the strangest writers that you've had? I mean, besides the, bullshit stuff, but, honest to goodness writers that they want and they're going to use.
Oh, wow. I won't say the band name.
No, but you don't have to.
They'll know. They'll know when they hear
10
it.
packs of tube socks and 5 packs of the 8-pack Hanes underwear.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even want to know.
I don't know.
I mean, the standard batteries, which I never get.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Batteries are too expensive. You can have your socks.
You know what? If you're playing that many, you're using that many batteries, go to Duracell and get a sponsorship.
yeah, no shit.
Get rechargeable
That's
stuff.
one thing that a lot of people out there in general don't understand, as a producer and stuff of a show. And they come with a writer. There's some negotiating
Sure,
that can be done,
I just tore up one band that's for Bikes on the Bayou. I won't say the band because actually the names haven't been released yet. But I crossed out like almost a whole page of stuff that they wanted. I'm like, no, I'll just do the buyout.
Yeah.
Because I'm...
Here's some cash. Leave me alone. I got better things to do than send
and
PA out for that crap.
Your clients depend on you to look over that.
Yeah.
Because, I work with a couple of other festivals that are outside of this area that they don't know. And as of this year, one of them are sending me those writers now going, what's right, what's not right? What can we get, what can we not have to buy?
Right.
Usually the alcohol or, and if, the fresh fruit.
If you got a beer sponsor and they want Guinness, but, Bud Light your sponsor, trust me, they'll take the Bud Light.
Yeah.
They don't care. Mm-hmm. But, when you start getting into all these fancy wines and different, single malt scotches and stuff like that, just no. No.
You know, here's a 12-year-old McCallum. Shut up.
I know, like
You're not going to know the difference.
Ron White, there's a story. I don't know if I heard Ron White tell the story himself or not, but there's a story about how he says it in the joke on his rider. He gets whatever Johnny Walker expensive is. And then he has his little flask and he takes the bottle that the club gives him. He puts it in his tour bus and then he gets his cheap bottle of Johnny Walker out and he pours it, relatively, and then he pours it into his flask and that's what he drinks all night is that Johnny Walker from the cheap Johnny Walker, and he takes the expensive Johnny Walker home. Right. So he's got a big collection of it. He said, I think eventually if you get enough bottles of it, they give you your own Scottish Terrier.
Right.
We get your own.
We did a show with Phil Vassar.
Okay.
So on Phil's rider is a handle of Crown. So we got it for him. This particular event, it was, they had the money to buy all that kind of stuff. So we give it to the tour manager. I give it to the tour manager. We walk over to the bus. He opens up one of the bus bays. And I swear to God, the guy had 25 handles in there already. I'm like, you drink that much whiskey in a year, you're going to die, dude.
Right.
And a handle is a half gallon usually. Yeah.
It's insane.
So I guess they just have the one rider that they make and they send it out to everybody and they don't think about it.
Exactly. And the reason all that, you see the stuff about you've heard
green
the stories of
M&Ms,
the green. You know why that came about.
Right. People weren't reading it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you weren't paying attention, I've learned with Tejano bands and some Cajun and Zydeco bands, they want backline, but they won't put it in the tech rider. It'll be in the hospitality rider.
Yep.
I mean, literally, it'll be buried in a hospitality rider somewhere. Backline will be provided. And I had it happen last year.
Wow.
At Boot Fest in Victoria. It was on the rider, but it was in the hospitality section that they needed a drum kit. Wow. Fortunately, the first band of the day that was kind enough, we paid him a little money. But I had 5 bands played on the same kit all day.
Man, that's awesome, though. That's a hell of a good kit.
Yeah, well, for a drummer.
My monitor guy was real freaking happy.
Oh, yeah.
The patch guy was ecstatic. He didn't have to mic 5 seconds.
And then here comes Josh Fuller with his left-handed drummer. Let's go ahead and screw up this whole system.
Yeah, well, these goofy foot drummers, man, it's just wrong.
That's just wrong.
How many of them are there? Like, how many?
I think, in my day, I've been doing this a while. I think I've seen 3 left-footed drummers.
All right, mine's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another
I might
band.
have seen 3, maybe 4 over the years. Yeah.
There's another band that we've played a few shows with. It's Ronnie Tinsley. And he's a guy that's doing country now, but he used to do rock. Okay. And he's the Ronnie Tinsley and the Dark Horses or something like that. But his drummer is left-handed, but he doesn't like to play with others. So we still have to use 2 kits.
Well, who's left-handed, and someone that who's left-handed does everything left-handed except play drums.
Who's that?
Spencer Booth.
Huh.
Jason Cassidy's drummer. Left-handed, but he plays right.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess he had a right-handed teacher.
I never asked him why.
Well, what's funny is I'm right-handed. Well, the jury's out on that. I think I was supposed to be left-handed, but I just became right-handed. But since my drummer's been with me for 10 years, whenever I tinker, I've tinkered on his kit. So now when I sit down at a right-handed drummer's kit, I can't even tinker.
Right.
I'm like, what do I do with this? It's all on the wrong side. My kick foot and my hi-hat foot are backwards. I can't do it. I play with my legs crossed, and that looks ladylike. I can't do that.
Looks like you got to go pee.
Yeah, it looks like I got to go pee while I'm playing the drum. It's just wrong, so I don't play the drums.
That left-handed, right-handed thing is just...
So,
it's,
is it too hard to ask if you have a favorite event that you've done? Does one stand out more than the rest as far as whether it was crazy or if it was just good?
I miss Mardi Gras in Galveston back in the day when it was big. What they do now, I know they're trying to, Mike, the guy that owns Jagas, really is the guy that puts on Mardi Gras now down there. And he's doing what he can. But back in the day when we had 3 stages going, and I had a big full-time cat rig at Sangerfest Park, and I brought bands, we had bands like, The Temptations and B.B. King and Deep Purple, Thin Lizzy, Puddle of Mud. You name a band.
Right, and they were there.
I figured it out today because for whatever reason, coming up here, in the 10 years that I was there, 2,170 bands in 10 years.
Wow.
That's a lot of music, dude.
It is a lot of music. It's a lot of music and a good memory.
And we had a lot of bands that you've heard of, a lot of bands you didn't know.
Right. When you
One of my favorite bands to work with in all that time was, remember the Spin Doctors?
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal band to work with. Just hands down, just great. They're just real super easy. Yeah. But that's how it's become now. Because I've been in the Texas scene for a while, there's certain acts that I look forward to having. Kevin Fowler, Roger Krager, Corey Morrow, Pat Green.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those, because, for what I do as a manager, I bond with these tour managers.
Right.
And the best compliment I've ever received was from Kevin Fowler's TM, Darren. They were pulling up to a festival down in Victoria, Boot Fest. He goes, Scott, as soon as I saw you stand there waving at us to direct me in, he goes, I knew we were going to have a good day.
That is a good compliment.
And that's the best compliment I could get.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right. And you do have a great reputation outside, and
a lot of that has to do with Mark Taylor.
Yeah.
Mark liked the way I managed the stage, but he's brought me down to a little bit of, okay, well, let's negotiate a little bit. There's gray areas. It's not just black and white, which is hard for a military guy.
It's like you can still be a hard ass, but just maybe not on this thing.
No, not even a hard ass anymore. It's more, it's not my way or the highway. It's let's do this together so we both have a good day.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And there's been times when it didn't work out real well. I mean, I've run into it with different.
Well, I remember we played that Winnie Rice Festival and it was a technical problem. Like there was just I can't remember unless there was a glitch in a line somewhere or something, but everything else was perfect with the show, but it was,
that was the last year I worked Rice. Was it? You were there because that next day I had a major fallout. I was getting ready to mix a band. I was looking at my iPad. I looked up, and it was like I stepped off of a 4-hour tilt-a-whirl ride. EMTs came over, checked me out, and they said, we're taking you to the ER. My blood pressure was 297 over 197.
Damn, son.
They said, you're getting ready to stroke out. And I went, no, I'm not.
The show must go on.
One thing you never want to do, spend 8 hours in Beaumont ER.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Not fun.
Doesn't sound fun at all.
Somehow my wife made it from Clear Lake to Beaumont in 45 minutes.
Wow. But, level do crazy things.
But that was the last time I worked with Winnie.
Yeah. But that's the last time I played Winnie, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. I think we played there twice. Maybe. It may have only been the once. I don't remember. But I just remember that we were over here. We were looking over there and seeing, as Cody was playing that night. He was the headliner that night. Yeah. So I'm over here at the side stage behind all the food carts, and there's Cody on the stage, and you can see him doing his thing. You're like, no wonder there's nobody over here.
Right.
But
I think they did away with that stage. They don't even have that stage there anymore.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That was, I don't know if you remember, their tour manager at that time was Frank Cipra.
Okay.
Super Frank. He was with Krager for years.
Yeah.
And he got the band on stage, and everything's fine. And he turns around and looks at me and goes, well, what do I do now? I went, well, if I were you, I'd be go watching your merch guy, make sure he's not ripping you off.
Yeah, watch him count that.
They do that?
Yeah, in a minute. But when you talk about managing a stage, you tell us about that a little bit. How you go from, you got a show that you're putting on that has 6 acts or 8 acts on one stage in one day, and you're bouncing back and forth between stages because, a lot of our Texas music festivals have, 2, 3, sometimes 4 or more stages on them. And that insanity, because I know what that is, but,
Yeah, walk us through the day of Super Scott.
Super Scott, yeah. Well, a lot of it, to be honest with you, is 2 and 3 weeks of pre-planning with the artists and with the artist managers. Getting all those things so that load-in times are essential. People don't realize when I say, we need you here at 5 o'clock. Well, we don't go until 6:30. We need you here at 5 o'clock. Because by the time I get you parked, you get out, stretch your legs, yawn, take a walk around. We got to get your trailer unloaded. I want you to build your kit. I want you to be ready because I have 30 minutes. And as you know, you've been to most of the shows that I've done. usually you'll see the same 3 or 4 stagehands.
Right.
It's kind of like my core group. These guys, I can't live without them on a show.
Yeah, they know what the
because
fuck they're doing.
We have a standing bet. Their turns, which means getting the previous band off and the new band on. They're getting the band off, and we have a
easy phrasing. Are we still using phrasing?
Yeah.
Phrasing. Getting the band off means
getting the band off of the stage.
Over under or
they have to do it in under 8 minutes.
Yeah,
8 minutes or under is our goal. That gives me, in most cases, at least 20 minutes then to get the next band on, get them mic'd up, line checked, and roll. Mm-hmm. And it's a game of mastering Tetris.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of cases. And the key is it's your crew. I couldn't do anything that I do if we didn't have the right people on stage, between the stagehands, the sound engineers, what they call a patch guy. You know what that is. Patch guy is key because he's trying to deal with 4 or 5 snakes sometimes on the deck, taking out stage boxes, rerunning lines and whatnot. And you got a good patch guy. Your day is good.
But it's the communication with that patch guy. He knows all your crew. And so when that drum kit comes, rolling in and the guy's punching in, that tom or whatever, right. And he can talk to that patch
and
guy.
My
and
crew,
say, hey,
what you may not know or recognize is one of my guys knows all about lighting. Mm-hmm. One of my guys knows all about drums. One of my guys knows about guitars.
Right.
So they know they can help remic stuff. They know what they can and can't pick up when it's time to get the stage off. Get the gear off of the stage.
Right.
They know it needs to stay.
They aren't going to pick up an artist's guitar. Mm-mm. But they'll pick up the amp.
Yeah.
I mean, and footboards, there's a touchy area there with some guitar players, especially. The ones that have the harmonizers, that there's different things that they want to use that, their vocals. I won't mess with any of that. I have them do it themselves. And there's times when it gets touchy. Yeah. I mean, I've had to jump into some band's production guy's ass and say, hey, I've got another band going on here in 12 minutes. Get the fuck off.
Yeah. Move it.
Hey, I'm on schedule here. This is how this is.
This isn't time for a band meeting.
Right.
Get your shit and go.
We used to pride ourselves on how fast we could strike a stage. Like, we always wanted to just be as quick as possible at striking our gear and getting off of the next guy, because we figured, if we hoped anyway in our grand imaginations, that if we had a headliner that was impressed with our ability to strike the stage, get it done quickly and cleanly, that maybe they'd have us back one day.
Well, and there's something to be said about that.
Yeah,
because
certainly there is.
Because there's artists that go, well, we really don't want them to play in front of us.
Right.
Because
it takes too long.
I've heard it because they take too long to get their shit off the stage.
The quicker an opening act can, exit, they've done their job. They're ready to go. Let's get their crap out of here, and let's give these opening act, the headlining act rather, as much time as they need to,
Besides some of the egos that you have to massage at some of these shows, I truly treat the opening act that's getting a pittance of money from what the headliner is. But I try to treat them the same as I would treat that headlining act. To me, there's no difference.
Right. Especially if they come in with the right attitude. But if they come in with an attitude of...
It's going to be a long fucking day for them.
Right. Yeah. Right. I've seen it.
Oh, I've seen that way too many times.
Yeah. And I've tried so hard to not be that band. Like, I've tried to get my guys to do it. And now that my guys have all been with me so long that their egos are... There's not. It's
there isn't
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they've been checked.
So we just kind of
except your drummer. Your drummer's
he's a little cocky.
It's left foot,
left-handed people. But yeah, man, it's just I've always tried to come in and be like, hey, I don't want to be in the way. I'm just here. I'll do it as easy as possible. Yes, I need to hear myself. It's okay. I'll just roll with it. Let's just go.
Well, and that's what I try to instill in a lot of guys. I mean, you'll get to the point where they're not sound checking, even just line checking, trying to get the monitor sort of right, and I'm running up against it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to mix you on the fly. Trust me, my guys will do it. And our monitor guys have never failed.
No.
You know, it may take 30 to 45 seconds, but in the long run, for an hour and a half,
it could take a minute. I mean, there's plenty of room, and as long as that band knows what they're, communicating to your crew,
But what I'm seeing more and more of is bands are coming in with their own in-ears. They've got their own. They've got their own mix ready, and that's I love that. I mean,
it makes life a lot easier.
And if you have something to complain about, all you can do is complain about it to yourself.
Right.
But, I mean, because either they already have them set so they don't have to mix it, or they have their own engineer that's going to do their ears. But it's a lot faster if they have their own ear rig coming in. And all they got to do is give me 2 lines and we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, I got the in-ears, but I didn't get all the other stuff. I didn't get the mixing board and all that to where we can mix it and just send out a signal. We always are like, hey, here's this. Instead of using the stuff that you already have set up here, I want you to unplug all that crap and plug my stuff in. So we just went with wedges at festivals. We were just like, eh. But when we were doing a show where we had plenty of setup time, then I love doing the in-ears.
Sure.
But at festivals, I have this. It's kind of like when I'm playing golf. I can play golf and have a good time, and I'll do pretty good until I look behind me and I see someone's behind me, and then I start pushing myself and rushing myself because I don't want them people to wait on me, and I get so flustered that I'm in somebody's way, and I do the same thing at the festivals. I'm like, I can't be in people's way. I can't be holding it up,
Well, you've never been that person, so don't worry about it.
No,
but it's because I freak out about it. If I didn't freak out, I probably would be. I'd be the other guy and be like, that son of a bitch.
Hey, it's
like
a good spot.
That line. In Rush, was it Rush Hour 2 or Rush Hour 1 when the guy gets killed and the actor goes, well, he won't be in Rush Hour 2.
That's that Ferris Bueller's talk to the camera. And, that no in movies. Yeah.
And we've had those artists. There's artists that have never played a festival again because they're idiots.
Well, I've over the years, I've come across musicians that are great players, but they don't have a band. They're in a band, and they have a group of musicians that play together, but they have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
As a band. But when you have a great band, or a good band even, that comes on stage that know what they're doing, they're going to put on a show, and they're going to make this, it's a business. It's a show. They're going to entertain. They're going to do everything they can to
delivering a product.
They're delivering a product.
Right.
It makes the world a damn difference to everybody on our end of it, be it the photographer, the video guy, the sound guy, everybody that's involved, the promoters and all that down the line, the production companies, everybody. It makes the world a difference.
It's too bad that some of the audience members don't know. Like, for example, 2 years ago, we had Pat Green at Sylvan Beach Festival. And Pat's bus died at 146 in Fairmont. I mean,
oh, wow.
Dead. Of course, his trailer's there. We need to load him in. He's our headliner. Need to get him on stage.
Right.
What people don't think about or know about is the production company backstage. Dumped what was in their box truck, drove down there. We cross-loaded from their trailer into our truck, brought it back to the stage, unloaded it, put it on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the stuff that people don't know happened.
They don't know that kind of stuff goes on.
Right. No, they don't. Right. But that's what this show is all about. Sitting here with people like you and all our other guests is all these backstage stories, and that's what folks I think really want to hear and learn about. Yeah. And what it takes to put on shows and festivals.
It takes
and everything
a lot.
Else. And
it takes a whole.
Well, I tell you what, Sylvan Beach has its problems as it is because it's a circle drive. We're behind the stage. It's a circle drive.
Okay.
And I've put 2 buses in there and had all my other bands parked in and around. And, of course, there's a couple of Johnny Lee stories I won't get into. But
no.
I
know
tell you
Johnny
what,
Lee.
Johnny Lee. Well, I've known Johnny a long time. a long time. His bus driver and probably Fowler's bus driver, 2 best bus drivers I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
most definitely.
I mean, there's a lot of them. There's guys out there that have been driven and they're good, but for that little area, you need to be an expert.
Yeah. So take us to break, Josh, and we're going to talk some. Well, I'll tell some Johnny Lee stories off air.
Well, on a day hot enough to make the devil cuss, I walked into a bar so thirsty I was spitting dust. Barkeep asked me what'll it be. I said, what you got? He said, well, let's see. We got Lone Star, PBR, Rolling Rock, Shiner Bock, Moose, True, Low Doodles, Heffenbeissen, Ziegenbach, Keystone, Coors Light. Of course, we got Red Stripe, Amstel, Amsterdam in the tall can, Michelob, Miller Lite, Guinness by the pint glass, Doppelbock, Lager, take his Waller 'cause it's going fast, oatmeal stout, and a lot of line and Kugels. Open up your wallet, no time to be frugal. There's 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Take one down and pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall. To say I was pretty impressed as he handed me an ice cold beer from a chest. Said not bad for a hole in the wall. Barkeep grinned, said that ain't all. We got Rio Grande, River Rock, Tecate with the twist top, Dos Perils, Dos Equis, Foster if you're Aussie, Bud Light in the new Zane Williams koozie, a dozen wheat beers on tap if you choose. You got Heineken, Killian's, the Bats and Becks, ice cold Corona with the limes in the necks. Yingling chillin' with the old Milwaukee's best. Sam Adams and that ain't even half of the rest of them. 98 bottles of beer on the wall. 98 bottles of beer. Take one down and pass it around. 97 bottles of beer on the wall. Well, I settled down with my favorite brew. I ordered me another, and before I knew, it was 2 a.m. and I was under a table being choked by a dude that smelled like a stable. And finally I was able to throw him through the screen door, pick up my hat off the hardwood floor, get on back to the barkeep's daughter, who was putting Papa Top on the jukebox, dancing nonstop and sipping on a beer that I bought her. We were drinking it like it was water. There were cowgirls everywhere wearing their pretty hair down to their derriere, and there were 2 more bottles of beer on the wall. 2 more bottles of beer. We took one down and passed it around. 1 more bottle of beer on the wall. 1 more bottle of beer on the wall. 1 more bottle of beer. We raised it up high and drained it dry. And there were no more bottles of beer on the wall. So we started on the Cuervo, Bacardi, Gold, Margarita, straight tequila, Jim Beam, George Dickel. Then we wet our whistle with a single malt scotch, beach schnapps in a jelly shot. Captain Morgan, pour some more of them cider sliders, flying tigers. Dr. Pepper for the designated drivers. Everclear, Absolute, and Amaretto. I don't remember much, but I do ever get those 99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer. There ain't nothing finer than an ice cold shiner in 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Anything's Mexican if you put a lime in it, right? Bring me 2 of those Dos Equis. Don't make me get on another Tecate. I'm starting to feel a little naughty, like that boy over there. Kinda a latte, bring me a Mexican beer. Oh, so bring me some of that Mexican beer. The Mexican water that I don't fear. Till ain't have the buzz to get out of here. Bring me my Mexican beer. Thank you.
Classic Galveston.
If you've had an accident or just a fender bender, the last thing you need to do is tangle with the big city. When Classic Auto Group Collision Center can take care of all your repairs, island style. Our certified technicians can repair any make or model, and we back up every repair with a lifetime warranty. Classic Auto Group Collision Center, now open at 6601 Harborside Drive. ClassicGalveston.com.
Classic Galveston, enjoy the difference. Island style.
Here we are. We back. I had to, man, I got so many buttons to push, Randy. You're supposed
I know.
you're supposed to be pushing these buttons for me, man.
Well, next week I will.
We should have meetings.
I've been watching and learning.
We should have meetings before these shows. I think they call it show prep.
Yeah,
and then we can come up with stuff. So, Scott, your stories are getting better and better. You're getting looser and looser.
Yeah, right.
So I think that we would be we got to put some of these stories out there. It's the ones that we can tell without. I think the one about well, I don't know. Actually, maybe not. I don't want to incriminate nobody.
I don't either.
Well, I can honestly say because your associate and mine, Johnny Lee. I mean, there's a lot of great stories out there, and they can get pretty cool.
Yeah, he's well, the one I was telling you just after we went on break was we had him at Tin Hall once, and they at that time him and Sherwood had this, if you know who Sherwood is with Gillies and that whole thing.
Yeah.
Sherwood had him and Johnny got into a fight, and there was an arrest warrant out for Johnny. So he knew that Johnny was playing at Tin Hall. So he had 2 Pasadena sheriffs or police officers at Hobby Airport to arrest him when he came in. But we had 2 Harris County deputies pick him up in their squad car and brought him to Tin Hall. And the Pasadena police followed him all the way there. And needless to say, he didn't get arrested. And the Harris County Sheriff's Department handled it very professional.
Yeah, it sounded professional when you told it off air.
Show went on as planned.
But those are the great stories that we'd love to talk about here on this show.
How about a raw oyster run for Johnny Lee once?
Oh, there nice, you go.
Nice. Can you go get me some raw oysters? What? I need like 6 quarts. He wanted to take them back to Branson.
So my only Johnny Lee story that I can tell.
Oh, and it's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, but so we were playing. Sorry for coughing in the microphone. So we were playing at the Redneck Country Club. And I actually wasn't the one. I wasn't on the bill. Actually, it was my buddy Eric Myers was playing. He was support act that night. And then at the RCC, after the headliner goes on, you play the after party. So you play twice that night. So Eric was up there playing. He asked me to join him, which was a nice thing for him to do. So we're up there and we're just jamming out. We're having a good time singing songs. And I forget what song we were playing, but I know I was singing. And we're doing our thing. We're singing. It was probably about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes after Johnny had gone off stage, And all of a sudden I noticed that the drums just sounded really awkward and weird. Like they weren't quite right. They're a little off and there was some extra clunks going on here and there. And so, we get to the instrument, the musical break, so to speak, at the end of the course. And I just kind of look over my shoulder and there is Johnny on the drum kit. And he had taken off his rhinestones and I don't even think he had a hat on. So it's just like a white t-shirt. He needs to wear a hat.
Yeah. And he usually has a girdle
And
on.
he luckily took it off, I think. But he was back there playing drums, and once he got settled in, it was okay. It wasn't horrible. But I guess what I heard was them switching seamlessly.
Right.
Well, it had a seam, but there was it was a rough seam for sure.
I did a
but-
show with Pat Green was a headliner.
Yeah.
Cowboy Mouth was their direct support. If you remember who Cowboy
Yeah.
Mouth
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
he did an
Fred-
HEB commercial.
Man,
that's
those
out right
they
now.
used to tear up the Catfish Festival. I would go, and they would have
Oh,
those
yeah.
people doing
Fred-
anything like puppets.
Fred LeBlanc is just a master of entertainment.
Yeah, it was
He's the only
incredible.
drummer I know that plays all the way at the downstage edge and just barefoot. It doesn't matter what the temperature is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
My
it's doing
nephew was
outside.
his road manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we had this show in Cyprus, and Pat was the headliner. So, Cowboy Mouth's on stage. Well, Pat Green walks up to him and starts messing with him in his ears and stuff, talking to him. So, haha, everybody laughed. When Pat came on, about halfway through his set, Fred scooted off Pat's drummer and played like 3 songs Pat never knew.
Wow,
that Fred was back
dude,
there.
it's a freaking amazing.
that's great.
It was
When
cool.
you go with Fred and you go back a little further in the bands he played with, my nephew was their road manager for like 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Fred is one of the hardest working guys, and my mom at that point in time, maybe 69, 70 years old, came to her first Mardi Gras. They had just moved from Phoenix to Galveston, and she came down to Mardi Gras when she wanted to see Mardi Gras. Well, Cowboy Mouth was on stage at the time. My mom fell in love with Cowboy Mouth.
Oh yeah.
oh wow.
I mean, to the point where she'd like to go to Kashada and to, gamble a little bit. Mm-hmm. If she saw that Cowboy Mouth was playing one of the casinos,
There she
was
went.
there, man.
he was there. But Fred's just that kind of guy. He's just super positive all the time. It doesn't matter what the setting is. It doesn't matter what's going on. He's just always, his message to the crowd is always positive. Now, I scared the crap out of my daughter one year because he doesn't like it if you're sitting down.
No.
Right.
He will go out into the audience. Mm-hmm. I have a picture of him at Conroe.
Okay.
He got mad because people weren't paying attention. He got off of the stage, climbed up on K-Star on Big Blue,
Yeah.
climbed up Big Blue's antenna with a wireless mic and yelling at these people barefoot because he always plays barefoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just an animal.
And you got to admit, any guy that is a drummer that wants to be the front man of a band, I think, honestly, when you sit and think about it, I mean, yes, there's been, Don Henley and Phil Collins. They were front men, but when they have a concert or whatever, they're still front men in front of them. This dude brought that drum kit all the way out.
Yep.
He is
true
the
front
man.
Yeah.
And
that's,
he
I think
always
that's
has
the
some
only
really
one.
hot female bass player.
Oh shit!
He doesn't now, but he always has some really good looking female bass player. I don't know if it was something
I'll have to
his
get
personal taste.
We'll have to get my my nephew Ricky in here, and Rich is what.
There's something
call him
about
Ricky, but, yeah,
female
He's
bass
got some
players.
stories. Trust me.
Female drummers too. Female drummers and female bass players, or female. Apparently, it's like females on stage. I'm trying to think of an instrument they couldn't play that they don't automatically have a hotness that value added to it.
Rhythm guitar.
Rhythm guitar.
Well,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, that's the only one.
No, I tell you what, there's a band it's a Hispanic band, Tejano band. Mm-hmm. It's called La Phoenix.
Yeah.
All sisters, 5 sisters.
All right.
And they play instruments that I never even knew what the word was. I mean, gahabos, I don't know. It's like some weird guitar. I didn't know what the heck it was. Maybe. I don't know. It was a weird, it was like an 8-string guitar.
No, Casavas.
I know. But super band, great band. Tight, easy on the eyes, of course. But just a good band. Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, there's nothing better than a tight band.
That was wrong,
I
dude.
found I worked with a Latino radio group for many, many, many years here in Houston, and got to meet a lot of those folks. And the ladies there that were in those bands were by far some of the most professional and best players that I have ever heard in my life. And they were really easy on the eyes. And they were a lot of fun to be around, too, because they enjoyed the music so much.
You got to watch that with the La Phoenix, though, because their daddy's their tour manager and their bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got, like, eyes everywhere.
That's La Costa Nostra,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a Mexican mob, too. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they call them cartels.
Go ahead and keep calling them out on my show, Randy.
And the address is...
No, they're good. They're all a bunch of great... the Latino bands, we have a lot of those playing in, your music festivals and stuff like that. They're wonderful. They're great to listen to.
We're doing a change this year, though. I get hired by the city of Victoria to manage theirs, and they hire their own talent. They do all that on their own. But we've developed a relationship that now that they send me the writers, are asking me what I think about lineups and who's doing better than other, because I can get on Polestar, they can't.
Gotcha.
But they're changing up. They've always, Friday night's always been Tejano night. But the last couple of years, it's been, So this year, Friday night's a tribute rock band night, which I'm freaking thrilled about. I mean, I got a Def Leppard band, a AC/DC band, and a Journey band.
Oh, wow.
So.
There's been a resurgence in, I don't even know if it's a resurgence or just a surge of, in the Houston area, greater Houston area, especially of these tribute bands. People just, and Houston's always been, in my opinion, more of a cover band town. They don't necessarily do the original acts.
You got three solid tribute bands here in town.
Yeah.
Fab Five, of course.
Right.
Already Gone.
Okay.
The Eagles tribute. And Nightbird.
Yeah, Nightbird, yeah.
Yeah, that's
the Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what's her name?
Brooke.
Yeah.
Daughter of.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I just.
What's their...
that part I don't know. I don't know her daddy or nothing. But I do know that...
It'll come to me in a second, yeah.
We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. That's what I know.
There you go.
But no, so like RCC even had a bunch. They've had the Spasmatics, and they've had a couple of.
Well, there's 5 of those though.
Yeah, it's a franchise.
Exactly.
When I first turned my band into an LLC, now every year I have to turn in franchise tax.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm never gonna. It's a band. Bands don't have franchises, and then all of a sudden you see, oh yeah,
welcome.
Apparently, Spasmatics do. And I remember hearing an interview with Gene Simmons, and he was talking about one thing he would like to do is have Kiss bands that you would never know if you were getting a real Kiss or not. It would be like 4 or 5 different Kiss bands, so they wouldn't have to travel as far, and they would play. And I heard him do an interview, I think it was on Opie and Anthony, where he was talking about doing something like that, and to where he would.
Unless they booked Little Kiss, then you know for sure.
Right, then it's Little Kiss, yeah.
There's a female version of Kiss out, too, from what I understand.
Well, there's a Little Kiss version, too.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about.
Do they not wear makeup? Is it like an opposite thing? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, they're little people.
No, I know the little people.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the female version.
No, the female's dead. Same thing. Same makeup, everything. Yeah.
All right.
I can't think of the name of them, but...
Interesting. Female. I don't know what female Kiss. Cassette.
Well, there's a female Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Tribute act out.
I heard that. Yeah.
It's a thing, man, and people dig it. They eat it up. Like they would sell out. The Spasmatics would sell out every single time they played the RCC.
Hell, there's those 2 cello guys that do all
that's
the
it.
hard
That's
rock.
the name.
Yeah.
2 cellos.
Yeah.
That's the name of them.
Yeah. They
have you ever seen that one with Joe Satriani?
Yeah. Shit, yeah. I mean that. Off the hook, as far as talented musicians and playing some serious rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. Doing AC/DC on 2 cellos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen one of their videos or two.
It's worth the watch.
What's the other band? You ever seen Steven and the Seagulls?
Yes.
They're playing all kinds of weird instruments, playing all this metal music with banjos and accordions and anvils.
There's been so many over the years. There's been hillbilly, there's been, with banjos and everything else. And it just goes
it's
to
good
show
for
you,
the music scene.
Yeah, it really is. It gives everybody, some options, and it's fun and it's different.
Yep.
And like it or not, but at least it's entertaining. And that's what it's all about.
Personally, if I hear Don't Stop Believing Again, I'll probably just choke.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's still good. And bands like Journey, and I work with a really great AC/DC tribute band called Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
And they're out of Florida. These guys are phenomenal. I've had them a couple times now at Lone Star Rally. Mm-hmm. There's another one called Cowboy Kid that does a Kid Rock tribute. This dude looks just like Kid Rock. Down to the tattoos.
Wow.
And sounds just like him.
There's dedication there, man.
Yeah, that's some dedication for him.
Well, he used to be a singer on cruise ships.
Oh, nice.
He's actually from this area, Stafford, Sugarland area.
Oh, wow.
My wife went to middle school or elementary school with him one time. Yeah.
Well, I know Kid Rock. Dude puts on a hell of a show, man. It is just kick ass, and he always puts on.
You looked at the two cellos, didn't you?
Yeah,
I can hear.
Yeah,
it.
he did, and.
Production.
We're getting production values in our show here, but a lot of those great tribute bands. There's been a lot of them over the years, and
they're super
great.
Fun to work with. On my end, so easy, and they're so thankful. Literally, it's like just thankful to have the gig, and I have gotten no pushback from any tribute band I've ever worked with. Which is a good thing. It makes you.
Well, I've thought about, there's no real specifically Texas country cover bands or tribute bands that I know of anyway.
No.
And so I always thought if I ever was going to do a project, what would I have fun doing?
I've thought of a great tribute act.
Yeah.
Except it would be a tribute towards the genre, not necessarily a band.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
I've already got the band's name. If I need to franchise it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Don't say it. No.
Say it right now. Right here. I'm getting my pen.
I want to call it Flannel.
Flannel?
And it's going to be nothing but 90s grunge.
There you go.
There you go.
Pearl Jam, Mudhoney, name a band.
Nirvana, all of them.
Nirvana.
Yeah, man. Flannel's a great name.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and somebody's going to take that.
And then if there was a girl version of it, you could call it Combat Boots.
No, you have to call it Doc.
Docs, yeah.
That's Leather and Lace.
Doc Martin. That's funny.
Stevie Nicks might have a problem with that.
Yeah. But come on, does it not translate?
Eddie can't complain about it. I'm sorry.
Man, so have you ever had a crazy festival or something where weather out of nowhere I remember a time when the dude that ran Mustang Entertainment for a long time, or Mustang Music Group back in the Pat and Corey and back in the glory days, but he was doing the Ziegenbach Music Festival, and then he tried to do one in Corpus. And on the day of the festival, he was knee deep in water from rain. And he lost his butt on it.
Sylvan Beach Festival about 4 years ago. Not one band got on stage. We just did nothing but hand out checks. And I'm talking, I had a Bart Crow and, Josh Abbott kind of stuff. all we did was hand out checks.
Yeah, $5-10 a piece. Yeah.
And
more.
I think Stoney was on that show too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just handed out checks, said thanks, bye. Hail was so bad lightning was my radar, because of what I do, I pay for a couple of weather apps.
Right.
My lightning indicator showed 0.0 yards away with lightning.
Sounds like my
and you could see it hitting in the bay there at Sylvan Beach, and was hitting the buoy markers and spidering across the water.
Yeah. Oh, that'd have been cool to look at.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was scary as shit.
Your hair all stands up, and you're screwed.
Yeah,
there was one time we were sitting here eating it. What?
Yeah, I'm glad you're grounded.
Yeah. We were at Lupe Tortilla, me and my family, right here in the Woodlands, and we were sitting on the patio, and a storm comes blowing in. We were with some friends, and a storm came in, and it started lightning and everything. The music's perfect for this. Oh, it's over now.
No, it's coming.
No, that's it for this video. Anyway,
I was just breathing hard.
but so
Sorry.
we were there with a bunch of other friends, and the storm blows in, and lightning starts striking, and it's not super close. But it was close enough for all of our friends to get up and like, psh, we out, and they go inside. And me and my wife, and I can't remember if my older son was born yet or not, but we were sitting on the patio, and the lightning just kept getting pow, pow, pow. And Lupe Tortilla is only about 200 yards from the freeway. And so lightning eventually was just hitting the freeway. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. And we were just sitting on the patio, and I was just eating up I was just excited. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And eventually my wife's like, I think this might... Maybe this isn't the smartest idea. But it looks, we're covered. It's good. We're good. It's good. And this is coming from a guy who, my dad's been struck by lightning 3 times.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Holy crap.
Dead serious. He got struck. So the first time he was fishing for chickens with, he was outside just fishing. And he had a little lure on there, you know, like he was just messing with the chickens. They'd chase it and he'd laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Well, we had some friends staying in an RV, and he was standing on their cable. I guess it's a 220, isn't it? That goes to the house. And he didn't realize he was actually had his feet on it. And lightning struck and hit the cable and hit him because he's standing on it. And then the second time, he was actually at our barn, our dairy barn, and we had everything was made of drill stem. My dad's like the drill stem good MacGyver. So he was, I think he was working on putting up a new rafter or something, but he was touching metal, and pow, got him there too. And another time it came through the dang telephone.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in the room when it happened, and it did
That's
everything.
why we did away with landlines.
Yeah, it did everything.
A landline will you
I know.
in a damn minute.
It will. I'm telling you, his hair did stand up. Smoke was coming out of his ears. I mean, it was insane. Killed the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And he just went and laid down for like a day. and then that same house, I got struck by lightning.
Well, last year at Fire Up the Bands.
Who got struck?
Well, it didn't get struck, but as far as everything was,
it was
all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And then
right after our set.
Who was it?
Calvary.
No, it wasn't Flatland Calvary. Shoot, forget.
It was something with a name like that, though.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I would say Midnight River Choir.
Maybe.
Anyway, about halfway into their set, then 3/4 away into, I mean, that rain just started coming in sideways, and we had to get off stage. And then, of course, Josh Ward was the headliner that night.
Y'all had to clean up and get ready for him.
Had to clean up, get ready for him, and we had to.
It held out because I remember it was actually spotty showers through the day. Because I remember one time I was playing and it started raining, but the sun was still out, and it was beautiful. And I was singing a song about rain.
Yeah, Scooter Brown wished that it had rained a little bit on him. Did you see Scott after that set? Did you see him?
He was soaked with sweat.
I've never seen anybody so wet with sweat in my life.
It was
he sweat through his jeans from his waistband to the hem.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, literally came back behind the stage.
He was
took off his boots and just peeled. He was sitting behind the stage in his underwear. Peeled everything off. We got him a bunch of water, and I thought he was going to fall out there for a little bit. He hadn't played in Texas in a while. He'd been doing all that up north Nashville stuff.
Yeah, all that low humidity shows. I
welcome back to Texas, dude.
I do remember that. There was one Fire Up the Bands we did, and I couldn't tell you which year it was, but when I didn't drink enough water before the show, and I remember looking back at my drummer and doing something stupid and then trying to spin around all dramatic like, and then I just lights out for a second, and I somehow I caught myself right before I was fixing to hit the ground, and I put one hand down and I was up and I was fine, but just that movement of that thing, I was almost done for.
Yep.
So it can happen quick on those summer festivals.
Got to hydrate. That doesn't mean with Budweiser.
No. Well, it's just that you just don't get enough water.
But you know the
beer,
thing
so you got to drink a lot more beer to get a bottle of water's worth of water.
The thing about the hydration thing is you really have to hydrate a day, 2 days before.
Certainly.
Doing it as you're sweating is doing you absolutely no good whatsoever. So that's typically like my later shows in the fall or summertime, July and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
2 days, day out.
Yeah,
I'll drink more water than I should.
Well, it's like when we play football, that's what they'd make you do. On Thursday, you start drinking a lot of water, and then for Friday night's game,
you're young. We didn't get water.
Yeah.
You had to be really doing good.
I didn't say they gave it to us. I said they made us. They told us to drink it.
Yeah.
They gave us salt pills.
Yeah, that was for the kids with the cramps.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I never got the cramps. I think I got the broken leg and the torn muscles and the stitches.
yeah, a banana and a bottle of water.
Yep.
Wow, you got bananas too, man. You guys created right up here in Texas.
Different generations.
No, that
Scott.
was Florida. We knew better because we lived on the beach. It's like
That's true.
And it's the salt air would even suck.
Well, I
it out
grew up up
even
north.
more.
I mean, I grew up in northern Indiana. In fact, from where my house was, I'm like just a stone's throw from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you, it gets every bit as humid there as it does here.
Certainly,
because
yeah.
where I lived, you get all that humidity is coming up off of Lake Michigan.
Yep. Well, see, I don't know if you and I ever talked about that before or not. So I got family that lives in in Michigan City and LaPorte.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's that.
So yeah, that's full disclosure. I was born in Michigan City, Indiana. I'm not Texan.
So you're a Hoosier like me.
Shit, I was born in New Jersey, so
I'm sorry.
my-
What?
I moved down here
on Fort Dix.
It's like New Iberia or something. I don't know.
No, I was born on a military base. Thank you.
There you go. Fort Dix.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a C-section baby. I was born in born in Section C at a Hank Williams Jr. concert.
There you go. Born on the back seat of a Greyhound bus.
That's
right?
a Larry the Cable Guy joke. I can't take credit for that one either. I need my own jokes. Damn it.
Hey, at least
I'm
you're giving
a
credit
comedian
for
cover band is what I am. I do comedian covers.
Okay.
Can't get away with that in comedy. You know, that's what sucks. You like
Instead
music.
of the blue collar tour, you're going to do the pink collar tour.
I do the studded collar tour. Studded collar and handcuffs tour.
Yeah, it's a whole different show.
That's a whole different show.
Yeah,
Coming up at midnight.
right.
Studded collars and oh, don't spit your coffee everywhere, Scott. It's not worth it.
Studded puppies.
So that's gonna be my new adventure. I'm
Even
gonna start
Wolfman
having.
couldn't
I'm
do
gonna
that.
have Up All Night with Josh Fuller.
888.
I don't have.
70s AM radio from the border.
There you go.
Oh man, we could have a show where we brag about invisible things and call it Boast to Boast instead of Coast to Coast.
Hey,
That'd be a good show.
have you ever listened to, you know who Adam Oder is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay, have you ever listened to his podcast?
I've listened to an episode or two. Yeah.
Bad Truth. It's pretty good stuff, man.
Yeah. He and I need to swap spots where I go to his show and then he comes to mine.
Hey,
Or we just record one show from two different microphones.
that'd be interesting.
It'd be the same show. Just record it one time. We just play it from. We just post it in two different places.
I like his show because of the perspective that he brings to it as an artist, especially when he talks about playing festivals.
Yeah.
His, goes to a festival and there's beer for days, but you can't find a bottle of freaking water.
Right. Yeah.
So I've always promised him, you play on one of my gigs, trust me, you will always have water, dude.
There is always plenty of water. Yeah.
Yep.
And there's always plenty of beer too.
Yeah, usually.
But I generally, I don't know, man. There was a time when I drank a lot of beer and all that stuff. Anymore, I just want water. I'll drink a whiskey before and a whiskey maybe after. Even my shows now where I sit down, I'm like doing the acoustic shows. I have one, now it's an old fashioned. Apparently, I wish I had an old fashioned my whole life. I'm new to the game of the old fashions, but
They've only
Pacific
been around
Yard
for
House.
60 years.
Yeah. Pacific Yard House makes one a hell
I've heard they make a good old fashioned.
Man, it's delicious. Get it with the bullet rye. It's really good, but I'll sip on that all night long, and I might get a second one, but I don't know. I just don't. That whole chugging beer, and doing a show. I've done it.
I have 2 drinks at every festival.
Yeah.
You've ever noticed you've never seen me
No,
drink.
I've never seen you drink.
I have 1 drink at the end of the night. When my headliner goes on, Mark and I's tradition is we do a shot.
Yeah, your job's basically
And
for the
that's
night.
it.
You did
Yeah,
it.
you're done.
You did it.
And then I'll do that again the next night. And then usually if it's a 3-day festival on Sundays, I don't, because then we got to load out and do all that
Go to
kind of
church.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, go to church.
We'll say a prayer. Holy water. We'll do communion on Sundays.
Well, that's one of the things that's weird about catfish festivals. We can't make any noise before noon.
Oh yeah,
On Sunday, no
line,
Sunday.
so you can't line check. You can't do nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Because of the churches and stuff.
Yeah, you got
Man.
the First
Who'd
Baptist
thunk it?
Church downtown. No noise before.
But, they don't have the Cajun stage anymore. As of last year, they did away with the Cajun stage. They have a party tent now, which is really cool. Last year, they had the Molly Ringwalds there.
Okay, yeah.
This year, they're going to have, it's just a whole mix.
This year it'll be Scott's band, Flannel.
Flannel will be making their premiere debut. Hey, if I could find the artist to put that together and play, I would market it like a band.
Hey,
did.
my drummer would do it. He wears combat boots and flannel.
Hey, I think your keyboard player might even.
Oh, my keyboard player would be perfect. My keyboard player would be perfect. He's got his checkered Converse and
I've heard him. Play.
Oh, he's got the tunes. He's got the tunes. He's got any tune you need up until the 90s. He's in or through the 90s.
But I need that David Grohl guy behind on the kit,
Oh yeah. Well, good luck with that one.
Yeah, that one's gonna be hard to find.
Can you imagine being the drummer for the Foo Fighters when David Grohl's your front man playing guitar?
Right, with a broken leg, and it doesn't matter.
Shit.
Dude just is a beast.
Speaking of broken legs, so a show came up. So we've never asked her. We've really never talked about this, but I don't listen to a lot of country.
Right.
I listen to artists that I like.
Yeah.
But I'm a metal and blues for the most part. Did you see the show that came up yesterday? It's coming to the Woodlands.
I did not.
In August. Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The Dope Show. Marilyn Manson himself. The Evil Twins Tour.
Yes.
so I guess you're not doing any shows that night.
I won't be doing any shows. I'll be going to a show, and I don't go to shows very often. The last show I went to at Cynthia Mitchell Woods was a couple years ago to see Soundgarden and Nine Inch Nails.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Phenomenal show.
My daughter was in a high school band, and that was our the band boosters ran one of the booths there, to raise money for the band. So I volunteered and got to catch tons and tons of great shows. And then my daughter, when she was coming up, she wanted to go work there. So she went and worked there, and she worked there for 3 years during high school and caught every band, worked chairs, worked security, as she got older, and was able to do those things. And I even, like her first year as a employee, I went and did, security, for a year there. And, those are some great shows. And that venue, I will honestly say this. I've been to concerts all over the world, just like you have. I mean, from Europe to everywhere else.
Yeah.
That venue is probably one of the best, if not the best venue as a consumer to go watch a band.
Red Rock.
Yeah. Well, come on. I said one. Red Rock is probably the best.
I've never been there for a show, but every artist
I've been to Red Rock for a show.
Every artist I've ever talked to said it's just a phenomenal place to play.
And it's a great place to watch as well. But as far as, hey, here in Texas, it's number one, period, the end. And they constantly make improvements. And as far as the bands being backstage and seeing what they have to offer and how their crews work the shows and everything else and everything that's supplied, it's just a great experience.
They're building something similar to it down in Lake City.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's going to be, it's going to seat as many. It's going to kind of mirror it, I believe. It's going to be right on 45. You know where Top Golf is on 45?
Yeah.
In Lake City, Webster area.
Mm-hmm.
Just right by there. There's an academy and stuff.
Yeah, there's academy, and there's
if you look to the left on that same side of the road, there's a lot of
and the other
ground
fries
clearing going around. And
there's
stuff.
fries, and then across the other.
Oh yeah,
putting in a big entertainment project, entertainment thing in there.
Because that venue, I mean, as far as a consumer going to a concert, I mean, I've been to Toyota Center. I've been to
Toyota Center.
It sucks. I mean, the seats are about this wide, and you can't really enjoy yourself unless it's a really great show. I did see Fleetwood.
Well, the sound is never right in there, and even the Compact Center. When I worked at the Compact Center for 3 years, the only show that was, I mean, they were all good shows, but audio wise, the best show was Don Henley.
Yeah.
And Don Lenny came in the day before his show,
and
he brings his own drapes. He would only sell a half-house show, He draped half of the damn Compact Center.
Certainly.
And then tuned the room. And then they had a show that was just...
Wow, that's
the
pretty
best
cool.
show I ever seen at Toyota Cinema was Fleetwood Mac.
Wow.
And I've seen Clapton there and everything else.
Aislinn went there. I've seen Clapton at the Compact Center, Janet Jackson, Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
All those good things.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, give guys like me and other guys that might be fortunate to get their first gig booked at a festival, what can they do to make your life easier? I mean, in shortest, simplest, easiest terms, like just what can these new dudes that come in, they're full of steam and piss and vinegar, and they just to make their job easier, where you want them back again?
Be nice. I know it's stupid. It sounds silly. It's the old Roadhouse thing.
Yeah.
I know, but you know
It's
what?
true.
Be nice. If you're an opening act, I don't expect that you're going to bring me 500 people.
Right.
I mean, phenomenal if you do.
Hell yeah. You won't be the opening act next year.
Go up there, and I've told bands this for years. You've been playing in your garage. You've been playing in a studio somewhere maybe that your buddy has that you can practice in. If there's 15 people out there, give them the same show as if there was 15,000.
Absolutely.
And, I was talking to Kevin Fowler at the cook-off, and he was telling me we had a show a week before at he was my Mardi Gras in Port Arthur with me.
Okay.
And it was pretty light crowd-wise. And he said, Scott, he says, I play the same show if there's 5 people or 5,000.
5,000, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. And that's what I tell bands. I said, if nothing else, this is a paid rehearsal.
Right. Well,
Play
those 5
your show.
people, if it's 5 people, those 5 people are 5 people of 5,000.
Right.
They came to see that same show.
Those are 5 people that know 5 people each.
Right.
And they'll say, man, we went to
They
the
had the
show
same
and
expectation.
Josh was great, man. You got to go to see this band. And that's how you build that market.
Yep.
Don't stay there all day trying to sell your 2 CDs.
Be considerate.
In your koozie.
Yeah.
Think about the bands that are coming in after you. And play your show, take your check, say your thank yous, and go on.
Right.
It's not that we don't want you there, but we have a job to do,
right?
And your job is done,
right? Yeah,
and that's really it's not real hard. It just put on a good show. Act like you've been there before.
Yeah. Be professional,
right?
Yeah,
and that's something that we do now at Conroe at the Catfish Festival. On Saturday, our opening acts is usually whoever the best act was at that hometown stage over at the courthouse. They have that little stage set up. And they take a vote who the best act was. And that act gets to open the day for us on the Texas stage.
Okay.
And so far, it's went real well. You give those guys, and usually they're young kids.
Right.
But to have someone carry their amp, they don't know how to act.
Yeah. Dude, those are the moments, yeah.
Yeah. But, and like I said before, we treat that act the same as I treat that headliner that's playing at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
We try to give them the same respect, and that's all we ask. Give us the same respect in return.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good advice to live by.
Most definitely.
Well, from an artist like myself, I know for sure there's no way that, I could be a crappy band and the right production and the right management of how that's going can make me sound and look like a rock star. But I also know that the opposite is true too. You could have a really big name band come in, and if the production and all that stuff is shit, then the perception of that band is that they're shit. So I thank you for what you do, because the whole scene is better for you and people, or because of you and people like y'all. But thanks for coming and sitting on my couch.
Absolutely, man. This has been great. I love this.
It's better than what you thought it'd be.
We're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
So we'll get more people in here. We'll get some return guests with some more stories when all the statutes of limitations are running.
Yeah, and maybe we can do some live stuff during the Catfish, and just
I might want to team up with some of that on the Catfish Festival. Maybe come out there
and fire up the bands too,
and fire up the bands and all of that. Yeah,
get some interviews and some podcast material and all that good stuff.
We'll bring out some serious toys.
There you go.
All right, so I forgot to do it again, Randy. You guys have been listening to us on KTXF The Real via the TuneIn app if you want to listen to us live. But as always, I will put this out to iTunes, to iHeartRadio, to YouTube and SoundCloud and Spreaker and everywhere else that your podcasts are. This podcast will be there too in about 24 hours. So Scott Mortimore was our guest. Thanks, Scott, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Randy,
Appreciate it.
thanks for helping me too. And we are going to call it a night. Thanks you guys so much.
But damn, that's pretty good.
Bye, y'all.
That's what it's about.